My very first day at my first Japanese speaking job in Japan, my boss put his finger into my butthole. I don't know any other way to say this to you guys. And before I get further into the video, that's actually not the reason why I quit. Actually, that is one of the reasons why I stayed there for even a few weeks. That was one of the best things, only good things about this job, actually. And hold on, I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking that I'm either trolling right now or I'm nuts. I'm nuts. But no, I have a real reason as to why my boss putting his finger up my butthole was actually one of the only good parts of this job that I had. So, I've lived here in Japan for 2 years now. I spent the first 2 years teaching English. And now that I have built up this Japanese speaking skill, and I feel like I feel like the first 2 years were preparation for using my Japanese in the real world. The first 2 years I was learning Japanese amongst foreigners at a language school, and now I feel like I have the confidence, I have the skills, the ability to speak Japanese in a real setting amongst real live Japanese people. So I finally applied for a couple different positions at a couple different jobs here, baito, part-time jobs here in Japan. All I did was I made a resume in Japanese on the Japanese Indeed on the app. I didn't even write like a hand resume. The app has like a Japanese resume that you can fill out, and then you can just print it out. Super easy. So I went on there, looked around for some jobs. I applied to 2 places, and I got called back by both places within just a couple days. So 100%. I did a couple of interviews. They were very short. Like, I didn't even have to use any of the stuff that I used, stuff that I learned about taking doing interviews in Japanese that I practiced in my language school. But I just showed up. They were super casual. Obviously, I used the Keigo that I knew. I did my best to be professional as well, but they were super, super chill. And I got the job first at this ramen place, right? So I worked at this ramen place for about 3 weeks. And when I did my interview, they asked me how much I would like to work. I told them 20 hours per week, because I'm a student right now. Also, I'm in school for like nearly 15 hours a week, and I have plenty of homework, etc., etc. Also need to make time for my YouTube videos, for my lovely subs, because I'm your dom, right? I'm your dom, and you guys are my subs. So I have to have time for all this other shit, so I'm only working 20 hours per week, but I would like to work around 20. I was like, is that possible? Because I need to be able to support myself, be able to sustain my lifestyle and all of the sexy massages that I buy here in Japan, my weekly sexy massage. So I was like, is that possible? They were like, yeah, like for sure, looking forward to working with you. And I was like, great, what else could you want? So I'm just making ramen here. Nothing too serious, not speaking too much Japanese because it's just a small ramen joint. There are like 15 seats at a bar, and then we are just behind the bar making the ramen. It's just me and 2 or 3 other people. So I was like, all right, it seems pretty chill for my first Japanese speaking job here in Japan. Go into my first day. I meet the manager of the nights. Like, there's a day and a night, and all the people working during the day are like old men and shit. And they don't give up their shifts. They all like stay the same all the time. But then at night, are like when the students and the baito, the part-timers, come in, and then there's just like one night manager. So I meet the night manager. He's pretty chill. He's cool. Seems normal. All right, whatever. And then I don't know if you guys live in Japan or you have Japanese friends, you might know this. Japanese male friends, they do this thing where like whenever they walk by you, or like sometimes when they're saying goodbye to you, or they're just like saying what's up. Like, it's funny because they don't do any touching here in Japan. Like, even like male friends, you don't say like what's up. You just see each other and you say like Uss. You don't like do like a fist bump. You don't do a high five, no hug, anything like that. But they do like pat you on the butt often. They'll just go like this. Like when they walk by you, they're like Jimmy-san, and they pat you on the butt like that. And anyways, like literally 30 seconds into meeting this guy, he like walked away after he like finished introducing himself to me, and he like walked and put his hand behind my butt and went like this. Just give me a little pat, a little love pat, and I was like, all right, that was interesting. And then he walked away, and I was like, I guess this is whatever. Maybe that's just his way of warming up to me, his way of feeling chill. But then everyone else was like super, super uptight. Like, it was me and then like 2 other girls and then this one guy. And I'm trying to introduce myself to people, and everyone's just like super, super formal. I'm trying to use like my Keigo, polite Japanese, my formal Japanese, and then everybody else is also speaking very formally to me. So I was like, man, it's kind of uptight here. It's kind of like how I imagined it would be. Like, holy shit. And I was starting to feel like, even only like a couple hours into my first shift, I was like, whoa, man, nobody talks here. It's a little uncomfortable. But then this manager, I was bending down, I was like kneeling, like squatting like this, right? I was squatting down, looking in like the fridge because the manager was telling me to get something out of there. And then he like walks behind me and bends over and goes like this with his finger and goes like that. He goes literally like this into my, like literally up my poop chute. Literally just tickled my colon for a second. He milked my prostate with his finger and he was just like, ho ho, and he like made this little like, he like, hey, when he did it. And then I started to think that he literally only asked me to get this thing out of the fridge so he could do that. And I was like, whoa. And then he just started cracking up. He was like, ha. And let me tell you, a lot of people might be thinking right now, yo, I'm out of this job. Fuck this job. I am leaving immediately. But just from my perspective, I'm here in Japan. Like I said, I'm so worried about everything being so uptight. All the people being so formal. For an American, for a bro, much less like myself, these very formal, very tight, uptight settings are the most uncomfortable thing. And if you guys have ever worked in a kitchen before or a restaurant, you know that people that work in kitchens, guys that work in kitchens, are some of the dirtiest, greasiest, fucking raunchiest, worst, lowbrow sense of humor having people on the face of this earth, dude. Scum of the earth, including myself, absolute scum of the earth, fucking sewer rats of people. And that's how I'm comfortable, to be honest. If I meet a dude and he's just like down to fuck around and like say the most abhorrent, terrible shit with the word like dark humor, whatever you want to call it, and like act like he's gonna finger my ass or actually finger my ass or like, just fuck around with each other, that's where I'm comfortable. So when this guy did that to me, amongst all of these other people that were so uptight, and I was kind of worried, like, man, I am so out of place here. This is so uncomfortable. I was like, oh shit, like this dude's down to clown, this guy's fucking around. So I was like, man, that's cool. Anyways, I ended up getting pretty, not close, but like relatively close with this manager. We fingered each other's assholes a little bit. We finger blasted each other's prostates for a little bit, and we became like relatively close in this few weeks. But the point that I'm getting to in this whole story was, even though they told me I could work 20 hours a week, the actual store manager, the general manager, which I only met like once or twice, and the first time I met him, by the way, he made eye contact with me, and then I came up to him, introduced myself, everything. He was super short with me. It was super awkward. I was like, yo, this guy's kind of weird. What the fuck? And then every time I saw him after that, I would try to like say hello to him, say something, make a little bit of conversation, and he would basically just be like, oh yeah, and like kind of blow me off and walk away. And then he was making my schedule, obviously, because he's the general manager, and then he would fucking only schedule me for like 10 hours a week for the next 3 weeks. And then like the next week, after this is like my second week in there, he's like, hey, I know you, like, this is on a Tuesday. He's like, hey, I know he scheduled you for Wednesday, but actually come on Thursday. I was like, fucking, like, all right. And then he's like, on Wednesday, he's like, hey, I know he scheduled you for Thursday, but actually come in Friday. I was like, okay. And then like the next week too, he just kept moving my shifts around like the day before. And I was like, yo, this is fucking ridiculous. You told me you were gonna give me 20 hours. I didn't say this to him, but I was like what's going on? And then during this period where I was like, yo, this is fucking annoying. Also, the general manager is kind of weird. The other job that I applied to called me back also. And they were like, hey, come in for an interview. I had the interview. Everyone there was super, super, super cool. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go to this place. Also, like, it's close to my house. The pay is better. Everything else, I'm just working in a kitchen and like at a restaurant. I'm working in the kitchen at a restaurant. It's a bunch of dudes just like around my age. It seems super cool. So I was like, yeah, like I'm just gonna work here. Like, fuck this ramen place. Even though the manager finger blasts my asshole and milks my prostate, I can't stay here forever. I'm not like, if I'm not making enough money to pay the bills, I can't stay here. If I'm not getting the hours to pay the bills, I can't stay here. So I just told them like, hey, really appreciate you guys picking me up. I had worked there for like 2 weeks. I was really appreciate it. But something else came up and I'm gonna have to be leaving after. I know you guys should say like you put in like 2 weeks, which I always have, always in the past. But this was literally, this was on Friday, and the schedule for the coming Monday wasn't up yet. Like, dude, what the fuck? And he kept moving my shifts around, and he kept giving me like 10 hours a week when he told me before at the interview that I could work like 20 hours a week. So I put in my like 11 days notice, not a full 14 days, not a full 2 weeks, but I was just like, fuck this, dude. I got to get out of here just so I can start working at this other place. And I sent a really nice message on Kago to like our work group chat and shit, and I was like, yeah, thanks for everything, really appreciate it, sorry to cause everyone trouble, but I'm gonna be leaving after 11 days. And anyways, I made like a whole long post, and then the boss, the only thing he said back to me was, on your last day, turn in your uniform. And I was like, wow, like, fuck you, bro. Didn't even say like, okay, got it, understood, nothing. Just said, on the last day, turn in your uniform. I was like, all right, for whatever, like, for sure, buddy. And then I saw this dude like 5 different times from that day before I actually left, because he was always leaving the restaurant at the time that I was going in, and then we always passed each other like at the door right as he was leaving, and I would always, every single day, I would look in his direction, and I would try to say like, hello, something, anything, and every single day after that, he didn't even look at me. I know, like, we're literally right there, I know this dude saw me, he wouldn't even look at me, he just like passed me and kept walking. Obviously you could tell I'm looking at him, everything. He wouldn't even acknowledge my existence, and I was like, wow, fuck this dude, this dude's a fucking bitch. And I mean, everything else that I was thinking about him before was confirmed, because he was weird about other shit, he was weird when I met him, he was jerking me around on the schedule. So anyways, I was like, you know what, like, I don't feel bad at all about only giving this guy 11 days notice, man, fuck this dude. So that was definitely weird. The ramen was really good, though. I'm definitely going to still go back there so I can see my old manager, and I can get a little bit of action, and then he can make some ramen for me. But anyways, I quit that place after, like 3, I guess it was like about 4 weeks I worked there. About 4 weeks, worked at this ramen place. Like I said, I wasn't speaking too much Japanese, just like short little things. You give people the food and you say, omatase shimashita, ramen desu, dozo, atsui node, kiotsukete kudasai, toka. And then I'm working at this restaurant in the kitchen now, which is more like a normal restaurant. We got servers, I'm working in the kitchen, making like pasta and shit. And it's pretty cool. Everyone there has been super, super chill. All the guys have been dope. For the most part. I mean, a couple of guys have been a little bit weird, which I might make a video on that also, because I have some things to talk about now that I've been in this mind. Like, I started 2 new jobs, and I'm sure you guys know, like, when you start a new job, it's always like kind of like a frustrating, like, high stress period for the most part, because most jobs, when you start them, like, there's so much to learn, and there's so many people you have to meet, and you're having so many first impressions with people. And there are so many people, no matter where you go in the world, no matter what kind of job it is, there are so many people that just treat you like a bitch just because you're new. Like, they treat you like a dumbass. And I'm sure some of that is in my head, and it's just like me being self-conscious because I don't know stuff. But it's like a constant ego check for that first like month or whatever that you're working at this job. So it's been a little tough. And like I said, like, you're having a lot of first impressions with people, and some people kind of rub you the wrong way when you first start. Some people finger your butthole when you first start. Or some people, just like I said, like, they treat you like a dumbass. They think you're fucking stupid just because you're new or something like that. Like, that's how they act, and it's been a little frustrating, but I do like the current job where I'm working right now. It's a part-time job, so things are going well. I'm learning so much Japanese. I'm learning more Japanese now that I'm like there like full time for the most part. I'm there like 8 hours a day right now. I'm not in school, and I'm around people speaking full speed Japanese to me, not babying me. Like, we're at a high speed, high stress environment. Working in a restaurant, you don't, like, they can't baby you through shit. Like, orders need to be made quickly. Things need to be stocked. Things need to be prepped. So it's kind of like a little bit like I was thrown into the deep end and I'm learning how to swim. But these are always the moments where I flourish in life, Whenever I feel like, oh shit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take care, like, I don't know if I'm going to survive this, like, I'm insecure, like, I need to step my fucking game up. Those are always the moments, at least for myself, when I do the best and I make the most positive growth in my life. So I'm excited about this next chapter. My Japanese has gotten like tenfold better in the first 2 weeks that I've been working at this restaurant. I've learned so many words, so I'm excited. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know what happens, let you know if anybody at this new job fingers my butthole. But so far all the guys have been cool. It's been mostly all guys, so I mean, I'm not like nothing wrong with working with chicks necessarily. I mean, but I don't know, like in like a high stakes, like I said, like in a high stress environment, like when you're working at a restaurant, sometimes, now I know this is gonna trigger some people, but sometimes it's better to just work with all guys because guys are like more chill. You know, some guys will be lazy, sure. Some guys will be slow, sure. Some guys won't take their job seriously, sure. But I will take that over some women, some girls get very stressed out very easily in, like I said, like high stress environments, like a restaurant where things are moving fast, customers might be angry, coworkers might be angry, orders need to get out. And a lot of times, if you guys have worked like me, if you worked in the food service for a long time, a lot of girls, I mean, I'm sure there's been guys too, for sure, without a doubt, guys too, but a lot of girls can't handle that stress very well, and they get super emotional and they snap at people and they get super triggered and then they stomp around and they don't communicate well, and it just gives everyone a terrible fucking headache. So actually a couple girls at this ramen restaurant were kind of like that and really bugged me. Like they would just be so moody. Some days they would come in, they'd be in a good mood, other days they wouldn't be, and then you make a mistake or it's busy, it's like the rush, and then they start snapping at people. It's fucking ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying guys can't be like that too, but let's be honest, it's generally women who are more like that. So anyone who is like that at a job is just fucking annoying to me. So anyways, like I said, this current job where I'm working, it's mostly dudes. Everyone's super chill. Like I said, everyone's around my age, having a good time so far. So I'll keep you guys updated, let you know how it is, and yeah, I feel like I'm in it now. I feel like I said, I feel like I spent the first 2 years kind of preparing to be a part of Japanese society, you know, even though I was more or less. But now I feel like damn, I feel like I'm in it. Like I feel like I'm one of them, and I feel like my Japanese is getting so much better so quickly. So it's good. I'm excited about the future. Thank you guys for watching. My name is yungjamez, YUNGJAMEZ. If you guys want to join my Discord, send me $5 and a smooch on PayPal. You guys can add your Discord username in the description or in the little note on the Discord on the little note on the PayPal payment. If you guys want to just donate to me, hit me up, guys. Why not? Follow me on Instagram, YUNGJAMEZ. Send me a message. Ask me something about Japan. Ask me about my wiener, and I will tell you whatever you're curious about. I'm an open book, guys. So, thank you. Love you. Take care.